J Dilla, one of my all-time favorite producers, a producer that I draw inspiration from every time I make a beat, from the groove of his drums, to the chops that he would do with the samples that he would choose, to just the overall groove that he could achieve with the MPC that he was using, with the limitations of that MPC had. It's hard not to be inspired by him. He's produced for many different artists like The Roots, Tribe Called Quest, Slum Village, The Far Side, Common, Erykah Badu, the list goes on. So today we're gonna make something inspired by Dilla. And if you listen to the original song that Dilla sampled for this beat, it's almost impossible to figure out how he put it all together. Just the way he would put chops together, I guess the thing that's difficult for newer producers to understand about Dilla is the limitations that he had with the MPC that he was using at the time. Like, we are so blessed to have all these functions in our DAW that producers back then did not have access to. So the fact that he was able to create the tracks that he made with the limitations that he had, he's just the best, man. He's the best. As a reminder for myself and for you guys, this is a song inspired by Dilla and not a track recreation. So for the light remix, you know, there's that smooth piano in the back. So that's what we're gonna look for on Tracklib. We're gonna go to collections, choppable soul, that sounds cool. Ooh, maybe some lo-fi piano. Thank you, Omar, for making this collection. Hey, yo, look at this cover. Okay, let's look through a different collection. Maybe neo soul grooves. Ooh. Oh yeah, and it has vocals. Oh, this is the one. We're gonna download this. Now I don't have an MPC, but I do have the Ableton Push. It's the closest I can get, and it's been a while, so it's a little dusty. Which might be perfect for lo-fi, actually. So I brought the sample into Ableton, chopped up the parts that I want, and then I time warped it. And the reason I time warp my samples is so that it's in time with Ableton, so if I want to change the tempo later, it just makes my life a lot easier. So like I said earlier, Dilla always had those super crazy drum grooves, never quantized, just super swingy. So if we're making a beat inspired by Dilla, you gotta play the drums. So I have this super dusty hi-hat loop, and we're gonna play the kicks and snares on top. That's not bad. Dilla always had those super low-endy kicks, which is what we have right here, and a very punchy snare. We're gonna make him hit a little bit harder right now. Here's what I did to beef up the drums. I removed some highs from the kick and boosted the low ends, also added a saturator. On the snare, I added this transient shaping enhance preset in Ableton. And for the hi-hats, to make them swing a little bit more, I just nudged them to the right. If you press this D, this will nudge it to the left or to the right. I decided to nudge it to the right a little bit. Even Questlove is super inspired by Dilla's drums. In this Red Bull interview, he talks about how it sounds like Dilla plays drums like a drunk 3-year-old. So we absolutely have to chop up the Rhodes. We can't just leave it as a loop like this. Before we chop it up, let's transpose it up 3 semitones. Yep, and then we're gonna consolidate it. We are then going to take it to the Ableton Push. We're gonna press convert. We're gonna convert it to a simpler. Then we're gonna change the mode to slicing, the slice by to region, and then we're gonna change the region to 32. If I can fucking get it on, oh my gosh. Then we're gonna press this accent button, which will make each pad play at the same velocity, and I think we're good. added some effects to the chops to make it a little bit more interesting. First in the chain, we have this delay, set it to ping pong so that for those pauses, there's a slight ping pong delay at the end, rolled off some of the highs. Of course, side chained it to the kick so that every time the kick hits, the sample ducks in volume, and added this wider to just make it sound wider. So here it is without. In a lot of Dilla's tracks, he often sprinkles in these reoccurring elements. So for the Light remix, there's this guitar lick that plays throughout the track, and I want to do that for this track. So I took this part of the sample that has a bunch of vocals on it, chopped it up into 32 different pieces, took out a majority of the lows and the mids and some of the highs, and added some delay just to make it a little bit more spicy. I did chop it up into 32 different pieces, but I'm only gonna use this small part. That's it. I'm not even gonna add my own bass line. I'm just gonna duplicate these Rhodes, take out this delay, remove this wider. I'm gonna remove more of the highs and the mids, and I'm gonna boost the shit out of the lows. We're gonna add some saturation. And that's gonna be our low end. And that's the track. If you wanna listen to the entire thing, the link is in the description. If you wanna try out Tracklib and get 15 tracks for free, link in the description. And I'll also leave a link to my favorite Dilla documentary in the description, guaranteed to inspire you to make beats. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this one. See you in the next one. Goodbye.